Hi Scrapbookers, so I got, this is Katie Scott, and this is my Instagram account, and I put that photo up because my layouts, my scrapbook layouts have been stacking up, and so I got a comment from H. Clappy, and she said, maybe a flip-through video. So I said, okay, sure, why not? I'm home with my little girl, I think she's got mono. She's been really tired since Friday, and she doesn't normally act like that, so my desk is a mess. It's not super mess, but I do need to, I feel like I have some organizing that I need to do, so. But anyways, I have this little, I don't know, it's some kind of a little stand that I got at IKEA, and it's on my Expedit, and I just throw my layouts there when I'm finished with them. So they've been building up and they need to be put into albums, and so I was going to go ahead and do that, but before I do that I will show you what I've made so far. I can't show you all of them though because some of them are for Get It Scrapped. So this one is a page that I just made for Get It Scrapped, and I'm on their creative team, and Debbie Hodges, whoops, that's you. Yeah, so the top ones, like this one, one, two, hold on. Okay, those two are going to be on the blog, and I don't think they've been on yet, and then I think we're safe after that. Maybe. Okay, if we're not, sorry about that. But, so I'll put those two aside, and then you should just look on the Get It Scrapped blog. They've got a blog, and they do a lot of articles where everybody on the creative team takes a similar subject, and we all make a page, and we can use whatever products we want, so we're not tied to, you know, even using a lot of products. It's just, this is the inspiration, and then here are the pages. So this was a page I made for Get It Scrapped and for the creative team, and the blog post over there, I think it's called Retro Filter Photos, and so I edited those photos of my daughter roller skating. I edited them in Picasa, and I made a photo collage. That's what this is, and I printed it out at home, and it's just an easy way for me to get layouts done. It's a trick I use a lot for December Daily, but usually I'll use, I like the quality of, this is from Shutterfly, and not that this is an awesome photo, but I like the texture that you get from a photo processor over the texture, and I feel like the ink that comes off of the photos that you get from when you do it at home, or at least when I do it at home. But I do print at home sometimes because I enjoy that flexibility of being able to make the photo collage, printing it out in any size, and then I'll just show you. I did a couple. Well, these are ones that I had printed out to for different other assignments that I haven't done at not creative passion classes, not Big Picture. Get It Scrapped, sorry. I have all those things on my mind. And so this one was a photo collage. This I just printed out large, and you can really customize the way that your photo collages look. So you can just print one out this one is a square, and then this one is long and skinny, and I customized, and I'm not very technical, but I was able to customize the size that I wanted. So I wanted something long and skinny, and then I wanted my photos to come up as squares, so I just kind of played around with that until I got the result that I wanted. This one is a photo collage, and this was I think this was an 8.5 by 11. That was the size that I chose. Same deal here. And then this was one that I tweaked because I wanted to have a series of photos. So, but these are a bunch of recent ones. This is my new all-time favorite picture. I love it, or at least of my dog. That's my dog at this little island that we go to, and it's just, she's so pretty, and I don't know, There's so much detail that you can see on her, and it's hard to photograph. You can't really see it, I don't think you can, but I can looking at the photo here. And you can really see all the detail of all of her fur and her eyes. And it's hard to photograph a black dog. I had a black dog before, and it was very hard to photograph him. She's a little bit easier because she has a little bit longer hair, but I felt like I really did a good job on that one. So those are just some, like, you know, stuff I want to scrapbook soon. And so I've got this little pile. Anyways, so I use washi tape. What do I want to tell you about these things? I don't know. So I did a little, what I did for the journaling on this page was I just listed out her favorite things, and I almost did no journaling at all on this page, and then at the last minute I was like, oh, let me just add that in, because that would make the page a little more meaningful. And that's what I like to, when I look back at the pages, if you can get in specific, the more specific you can get, the better, because you're going to remember general things about the past, but specific things are more difficult to remember, you know, I think they are. But they're more, the more specific you can get, the more meaningful it is later. So there you go. So there's, this one's called Skater Girl. And usually I'll have my layouts up on my blog, but I haven't been too good about doing that lately. So you can either look, I have a Pinterest board called Productivity, my own scrapbook layouts, and I also Get It Scrapped. I've got, I think you can look in my gallery over there, and I've been pretty up to date, like, you know, I think that would be pretty up to date. And I've also kind of fallen off the wagon of posting to 2Ps, but I'll usually try to post to 2Ps. Okay, this was a page I also did for a Get It Scrapped blog post, and the concept here was using a color scheme of gold, white, and black, and I used some stickers that were actually from the Renaissance Fair that we went to, and this is another one where I used that photo collage, but this time I used the entire, instead of like cutting, like on this other one, I trimmed around the photo collage, and that, well, for the most part I did, but on this one I left the entire, like this is an entire 8.5 by 11 sheet, and I used the white part of that for, and I put some washi tape over it, but I used that for the journaling and the title, so I kind of, that was easy. It was an easy page to make, and then I just like added in a couple of strips of paper and threw in some stickers, and ta-da! Most of these pages are going to have corresponding process videos on YouTube. You can just look, and if you look at just recent videos, you'll be able to find a lot of them. If you have trouble navigating through my YouTube channel, let me know so I can tweak it. I hope it's pretty good, but okay, the next one was also for a Get It Scrapped blog post. This one was to use something called lino cut, which is a word that I had actually never heard before I got the assignment, but it's this stuff. It's like when, let me just see if I can see it on, I can show you on Pinterest. It wasn't, I'd never really heard of it before, but it's, hold on, L-I-N-O, nope, that's not it, L-I-N-O-C-U-T, and with all the stuff that we have, you know, whoops, oh, Pinterest is doing some new things. I don't know what they're doing. No! Okay. It's asking me like 50 questions. I'm just trying to give you an example of lino cut, and it's really not letting me. Okay. I don't know if these are the best examples, but it looks, okay, these two are good examples. It looks sort of like that. And I don't really know what the idea is behind lino cut. I guess, like, maybe it has something to do with, see that? I like the camera there. I think it has something to do with screen printing. Like, what do you call that? Is it called screen printing? I don't know. I never took it in high school, but I wished I did. A lot of my friends did, and it looked really fun. Yeah, this is called linocut prints or linocut prints. And they're stamps. So I think it's something that you cut out and then you can make it into a stamp, or you can like screen print it onto a t-shirt or something like that. But I did this effect. It was like a wood grain background on my silhouette, and then got that linocut effect using the silhouette, which is an electronic die cutter. And that one's called Wildness. And those are two different pictures of my daughter recently in the wild. And I included a quote, and I got the title from John Muir. I still can't say his name. But he's a new, I never really knew about him, but he's one of my new favorite historical people. He's the one, you know, he had a lot to do with setting up the national parks, and he was buddies with Theodore Roosevelt and blah, blah, blah. Anyways, wildness is a necessity, and that's one of his quotes. And that starts with an S, the Sierra Club. I think he founded that. Anyways, that's my linocut. And this is a really old basic gray embellishment, like a punch-out embellishment. And I thought that looked kind of linocut-ish. I'm probably totally butchering that word, sorry. Okay, the next one is... It wasn't in a Get It Scrapped blog post because I was late. I've had a rough spring, but it's getting better. We got 6 more days of school, and woohoo! Hopefully life will get to a more digestible pace for me. Anyways, the blog post or the assignment that I was kind of responding to was play with text, and so I went through a magazine and I cut out all of these black and white words that had to do with, you know, losing weight, because I need to. I just lost 10 pounds though. I know my beefy arms don't really show it. But believe me, beefy arms are, it's just in my, that's just in my DNA. I don't have much of it. Even when I'm thin, I still have beefy arms. Anyways, so then I cut out this lady, like you know how we cut out like, oh, inspirational, I want to look like that, and so I thought that looked pretty good, but I didn't really want her to be the focus of the page, so I thought about doing like spray technique over it and then leaving it, and I'm not that good with mist, so instead I just colored her in with a Copic marker, so you can still see the detail, but it's more like you just see that, the silhouette of her. And I just hand cut that, and then I hand cut myself out of a selfie photo, and I'm in my workout clothes, so I don't know. It's a good self-motivating page. I think there's a lot to be said about if you have goals, writing them down, and writing them down can be in the form of a scrapbook page, and you can really, sorry my desk is so cluttered, it just looks horrible on the video. Let me just move this over so you don't have to look at all that garbage. Sorry about that. Okay, there we go. Anyways, but I do think like some of your scrapbook pages don't really have to be about memories, they can be about goals that you have. So that's, I just wrote a little note, recommitting to my goal of getting to a healthy weight. So I'm 10 pounds closer. Woohoo! Weighed myself yesterday, and my daughter's been watching me, which I'm really careful about because you don't want them to, I keep saying, you're fine, to be careful with girls' body image. So I'm real careful about how I share that with her. But anyways, this is a page that I did for a Get It Scrapped assignment. And this was, what was the title of it? A Modern Nautical, which is like a trend. And Debbie Hodge is really good at identifying trends. And so I found these old photos, and these are the original photos. So I didn't, and they're from film camera, and I didn't take them. When I was a teenager, I did like scholarship pageants, and then after one of the pageants, this guy's, I think he was maybe one of the judges. He was like, "Oh, I'm a photographer, and I want you to do some modeling." So, and it was legit. Like, he didn't ever ask me to do anything creepy. We did do some bikini catalogs, but it was like me and two other girls, and one of the moms came, not my mom, but another mom, and it was fine, you know. Would I let my kid do it? No, but you know, I was largely unsupervised back in those days. But anyways, so I lived up in Bangor, Maine, and I think he was in Boston maybe, and so we met in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, and he was like, we did a whole bunch of different shots. I think he was like putting together my portfolio or something like that. My modeling career never went very far, of course, because number one, I have crooked teeth. Number two, I'm 5'3". So it just, you know, it was never going to work. And I think my nose is weird. I don't think I have a modeling nose, but anyways, I did a little bit of it back in the day. So that was 1987, and we took these photos in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. And I also do a lot of family history research, and so I say these photos were taken in August 1987 when I was 17 and did some modeling and pageants. Little did I know that Wallace Fenderson arrived here in Portsmouth, New Hampshire in June 1706, 281 years later, or before. So yeah, my family came, or my dad's part of the family came from Scotland, and they landed here in America in 1706, and they landed in Portsmouth, New Hampshire. So that's kind of a cool, so it was like, you know, shipping, like Wallace Fenderson was a shipping captain, and so the nautical worked in that way, plus Portsmouth is, you know, a port city, and I don't know, I thought modern nautical worked pretty good for that. And a lot of the stuff we're seeing modern-wise now is really like 80s retro. Like so much of what I'm seeing today in fashion, and you know, I've been watching that National Card Making, that's not what it's called, National Stationery Show, and there's a lot of like throwbacks to the 80s, which is now considered modern. So yeah, it all worked. This one, I don't know. I don't know. It may have been in a Get It Scrapped post, but I'm not sure if it was or it wasn't. And I think the assignment was the layout design was on a shelf. I seriously don't remember though. I should write that stuff on the backs, but I didn't. But so I just took up, this is a selfie, and I've taken taking a picture of myself every time I get my hair done, and I do that with my iPhone, and so I just hold it out, you know, like this with the forward-facing camera, and it's kind of dual purpose. One is it's fun to take a selfie when you look weird, like when you're getting your hair done, but two, I can look at my cell phone and see when the last time I did my hair was, because I am always like letting my roots grow out way too long. So I've really been trying, and I don't like the way that looks, but I also don't like to go to the salon and sit there for 3 hours getting my hair done. So there's a, you know, give and take there. But so anyways, having the selfies every time I do the hair helps me to remember, like I can say to myself, no, when's the last time I got my hair done? I can look at my phone and go, okay, it's been 3 months, I should go in. So the journaling says, so I'm not sure why it can be so hard for me to take some time for self-care. I do enjoy having my hair done, but I don't always keep the appointment. It seems like anything else can take priority over self-care stuff. I need to do this more. Yeah, there we go. I don't remember why I wrote don't worry though. Oh, I think it was like kind of a play on the shelf, like put your worries on a shelf. I know, it's kind of out there, but... Oh, and plus this said be happy. Don't worry, be happy. Okay. Next up is, this was also, so I was kind of like getting way behind on my Get It Scrapped assignments. So a bunch of them I did late and then they didn't make it in, and sorry. I'm getting back on schedule, I promise. And fortunately everybody's real patient with me over there. So thank you, I appreciate it. And I love being a part of that community. It's really fun and authentic, and it's a learning community, and so it's smart. And it's just a real nice group of women, and yeah, we have a lot of fun and learn a lot and love it. Anyways, this was for one of their blog posts called Retro Technology. So in this one I used, and this is from the silhouette, so I had to like piece it together, which I got a little impatient doing, but that's a floppy disk if you don't know what that is. And then this is like a retro robot, and this was from October Afternoon, and like a calculator. Remember when it was like so fun to like spell out Shell Oil and hello, and I think you could spell boobs too on calculators, and then you turn them upside down. It was like, you know, the coolest thing ever way back when. So I went through, well, I was born in 1970, and I kind of went through the technology changes in my lifetime, because it's been a lot, you know. So technology and warp speed from 1970 to today. So in 1970, I was born, and we lived in a trailer. Yeah, I'm straight out the trailer. We lived in a trailer while my dad was in the Army, because he didn't want to live on base or something like that. I don't know. With one air conditioner. 1974, I used to make typewriter notes to Ed Cook, who was an employee of my dad's, and we had this little, like, we'd type notes to each other, because my dad would go in, like, in the evenings and on weekends and stuff, and I'd be with him, and so to, like, give me something to do, he'd sit me down at this guy Ed Cook's desk, and then I would just play with the typewriter. And so then I started writing him letters, and then he'd write back to me. So we had this little thing going. He was a super nice guy. 1978, I got the Little Professor calculator for Christmas. 1982, my dad's office was like fully stocked with computers. 1984, I used to go over to my friend Jennifer Willie's house to watch MTV because we didn't have cable. 1988, left for college, no internet. Because there really wasn't, I mean, I know it existed, but not in my world. 1992, still using a typewriter. 1996, had my first personal computer, which I bought for myself for $2,000 from a scholarship that I won. Anyways, 1999, got my first AOL account. 2000, we were all concerned about Y2K. And then in 2002, my son was born, and I had a film camera and a flip phone. In 2003, my daughter was born, and I had a digital camera. So, like in that's the year where I went from film to digital. 2004, I started using Shutterfly, and so I have all of my photos since 2004 backed up on Shutterfly, which I know the quality isn't blah blah blah, but it's still nice to have them in another location. 2005, YouTube started. 2006, The Information Age was the cover of Time magazine. That was the person of the year, was The Information Age. 2008, joined Facebook after my high school reunion. 2010, finally got an iPhone. 2011, started using Pinterest. 2012, started using Instagram. 2013, it was the 5-year anniversary of my blog, Kiss and Tell Scrapbooking. And then 2014, I taught 2 different online classes, one at Big Picture and one at Masterful Scrapbook Design. So it seems like tech has gone on fast forward my whole life, and I'm just trying to keep up with it all. Yeah, I really am. So that was a fun page to do. I liked how that one came out. I like it when there's a lot of space for journaling, because really, like, this is so interesting. Like, the rest of it is fun and cute to look at, but that's interesting, anyways. Okay, I think this was another one that I did that I didn't get in on time, and I'm a mess. I'm getting better though. I just had a rough couple of months. Anyways, it's all good. I got some really bad news about my aunt, and she's been going through a lot. I mean, like, everything that could go wrong went wrong, and it's as bad as it gets. And it just gave me a good perspective, like an attitude adjustment, like, hey, stop whining about your problems that really aren't that bad, because they're not that bad. It could be much worse. So anyways, this was one. So hopefully I'll get back on my little schedule, on my on-time schedule. I did some watercolor onto a piece of paper from a book, and I did the brush stroke, which is real trendy this year. And so I did this in March. March is a time to recommit to my goals. Hello, March. And I think that's when I got back really on my diet. And yeah, my #1 goal to lose 50 pounds. And then just a bunch of other goals, somewhat relating to my work and others to my family. And then all of these leaves, can you see them? I did those on the silhouette, and I also did them on cardstock that was a little bit shiny, so they were really fun to work with. I felt like Wilna Furstenberg. She does a lot of silhouette cuts with the leaf motif. And I have no idea I think this was for a Get It Scrapped blog post that was to do a symmetrical layout. So this has symmetry. It's the same on both sides. So put something over here, put the same thing over there. And so it is mostly symmetrical. I did go a little asymmetrical with the embellishments down here, but I like a symmetrical page, actually. They're ones that catch my eye a lot of times when I'm looking online. I like them. Okay, next up, okay, so the thing I've been like moaning about all year is 6th grade. And so my son is in 6th grade. It's been a year. I guess it just is. The first year of middle school is just apparently very difficult for boys. And so something happened at school, and I was like, oh no, you don't. And so, not to a teacher, and it's all been resolved and everybody's okay. But I still had to express what I was concerned about. And then, so what happened was, I read I tempered the email in a way, like I was angry, but I wrote the email and then I redrafted it a couple times so it would not be, so I was getting my point across and it was still professional. And so I read it to him before I sent it, because I was like, I want to make sure this is okay with you, that I'm sending this to your teacher, because I want to tell her what we're feeling about this incident. And so he came in and he was listening to it, and then my daughter was also in the room, and about an hour later she was like, she did her own angry email. So I put both of those. So she wrote the teacher an email, whatever you do, your kids are watching, and then they're gonna do they're gonna do what you do. So she was taking my example, and so she wrote a nasty email to the teacher, which I was like, oh yeah, no, that's not exactly appropriate. But I admired the fact that she was sticking up for her brother, and so she apologized to the teacher, and it's all fine. But I was like, it was that time when you're a mom and you're like, well, that really wasn't the right thing to do, but I'm kind of proud of you that you did it anyways, because she had her heart in the right place, and that's that whole story. And because I didn't really want the whole specifics of the incident, especially out in the world, because I usually do photograph my layouts and then put them on my, online and on my blog, kind of as a backup. But this was a more personal story, so I made a pocket, and so we can still read exactly what we were so angry about. But you don't have to see that just flipping through the album or looking at the online version of it. So that's one solution if you have some sensitive material. Okay, next, this was another Get It Scrapped. I missed so many assignments. Well, I have to say, first of all, I don't actually have as many assignments as I'm saying I'm missing, because we have like 2 or 3 a month, but I usually end up doing more than that, just because I like, it's fun. I like to, and I like having the assignments. It's a great way to be the starting point for a scrapbook page. So if you don't have assignments, you can use the Scrapbook challenge blogs, or there's a lot of challenges out there. And that's a great way to start. So this was channeling Doris Sander, and I took inspiration from her colors. So she uses a lot of this mustard yellow color. She also uses a lot of like craft cardstock. And then I noticed in looking at her pages that she uses a lot of the leaf motif. So I think I got on a little kick of cutting out different leaves. And I wrote a big long story. Oh, yeah. I wrote a big long story about my dad, and then, and it was also, this was in the Get It Scrapped forums, and it was a prompt by Doris called When I Was 5, and I just kind of like wrote and wrote and wrote, so it didn't all fit on the front, so this isn't like, on this page, I didn't really want everybody to know all my business, so I put it hidden. On this page, I didn't, this isn't secret at all, but I didn't want to put it didn't fit on the front design-wise, so I put it on the back. And my family knows that I do that a lot, so I didn't indicate that on the front, but I do enough of those that if they're really interested, they'll look. And so this is all about when I was 5 and I lived in Calais, Maine, and I just found this thing on Facebook that it's like a private group, or maybe it's an open group. I don't know. It's some kind of a group, and it's like you knew you grew up in Calais, Maine, and then all these different memories. And so I'm trying to get memories from those people about my family from back in the 70s. So my family has been in that town for centuries. Not even kidding. Yeah. So anyways, those are some of my memories. I'll have to put that on that board. Oops. And now I'm running out of space on my little shelf. Hold on. Oops. And I lost a sequin. That's not good. Well, let me see if I can stick that back onto wherever it came from. Luckily, I've already, as soon as I make my scrapbook pages, then I immediately do the photographing, usually, most of the time. Sometimes I'll miss one, but most of the time I will photograph my layout right after I make the layout, or if it's nighttime, I will take it the next morning, so I'll have good light. But so when they hit this pile, they've already been photographed. They're just waiting to go into the albums. And I used to have a book that I kept out with all of my recent layouts, and we rearrange our house a lot. Just the space where that was happening went away. So this is so they've just been in the pile. This is a 2-page layout, and I did some watercolor on this nice paper from We Are Memory Keepers, and then I just used a bunch of photos from we had a ski trip this year to Utah. We went to Park City, and this was just walking around Park City in the evening, and then I used a bunch of Project Life cards, and it looks like I didn't finish. So I was writing like all kinds of little stories. So I think what happened with this one is I put it over there because I had to work on something else, and I was like, oh, I'll finish those up later, and I didn't finish them, and it's okay if I don't. It's gonna go, it's in the pile. I don't think I ever photographed this one. That's okay. If I didn't, it's not the end of the world. I did make a whole photo book in Shutterfly of our trip, and I think I have a video showing that book. So I'm not super concerned about making sure I preserve this page, you know, digitally on the computer. Okay, next is just a simple page. I don't remember why I made this. I don't remember if it was for an assignment or not. I kind of think it wasn't. And I just took a photo, matted it a couple times, and then wrote a little letter to my daughter, and that's it. Simple. I usually work in 12 by 12, but sometimes it's fun to switch it up and do 8.5 by 11. You just like, I don't know. It's really, the 8.5 by 11 is a really easy format to use. It's a lot easier designing a page for 8.5 by 11, I think, than 12 by 12, just because there's less space. So I think maybe I was doing some speed scrapbooking. I think I was, yeah. So I made these 3 pages all in one sitting. And I don't remember how long it took me, but I want to say like an hour to make 3. And so, because I basically used the same concept with each page. So I used like paper strips on each one. Each of them are on white cardstock. Each of them just have 1 or 2 photos, and each of them had the handwritten journaling on the bottom of the page. So those are really simple to put together. And I guess I had this theory, and I still do, but I have this theory, like, if you have one kind of like layout design, if you can just do a bunch of layouts within the same design all together, then they're gonna be, they don't look like totally the same. I mean, they're similar, but they're not the same. And you can crank out a bunch of layouts if you kind of use something similar over several pages, whether that be a product line or whether that be the layout design. But if you just take, like, I'm going to do approximately the same layout design. So in this one, there's a photo up here, and there's journaling down here. And I'm going to use paper strips. I'm not going to go crazy on the embellishing. Boy, these ones really aren't staying where they should be. That's a bad adhesive. So, which is another reason to get all this stuff in page protectors, so we can protect our pages. Page protectors. What a funny name. Okay, I'm not going to go any further with that, but yeah. Okay, so that was that. Okay, this is, okay, I remember what I was doing here. This was, I was playing with the idea of, like, I think this was during Calvin Ball, which was also at Get It Scrapped. It's something that Celeste Smith created, and Calvin Ball is like from the Calvin and Hobbes cartoon, and Calvin Ball, like the rules of Calvin Ball are, you just make up the rules as you go, or there are no rules, something like that. And so she has this this game that's just for fun that scrapbookers can play from time to time whenever she does it. And it's just like to make the most amount of pages or to get the most points in a month. But the thing about Calvin Ball, the scrapbooking version of it, is the rules are always changing, so there's all these crazy rules. And I didn't actually do very well at Calvin Ball. I thought I would, but I didn't. But I was looking at all the digital scrapbookers and thinking like, oh, well, they're making pages so fast because they have templates. So I cut this background out on the Silhouette electronic die cutter and thought, well, maybe if I just use, I do paper scrapbooking, obviously, but maybe I could do that template thing if I use some borders or some, you know, frames from the Silhouette Gallery and the cut files, whatever you call that. And my takeaway was it actually took longer. So these took shorter, this took like longer than a normal page. I like the look of it, but it was not faster. No. Because you had to like make sure everything went just right. Okay, here's another symmetrical page, and this is called A Real Tree 2013. And I just, oh, this is my daughter. My daughter has been like typing things up on the computer, and I think, yes it is. Yeah, she's been typing things up on the computer. So this is something that she wrote, and it might have been for school. I don't know. It might not have been. But anyway, she'll type something up or write something out in her handwriting and then like hand it to me. And so I've been using those things for the journaling, the story part of the pages. So this was a story that she wrote all about how she wanted a real tree this year, but that watering the Christmas tree is kind of a pain in the neck. She says, watering the Christmas tree is fun and all, but if you do it all month, it can be pretty annoying. One wintry Saturday, I was sitting on the floor playing with Jessie, my dog. My mom came down the stairs and said, Allison, will you water the tree? Yes, Mom. I got off the floor and went over to the cabinet and got 3 cups. I went over to the sink and started the water. I think she must have turned this in because there's a little smiley face that says great sentence. I didn't write that. I think her teacher did. I could feel the weight getting heavier as the cold water rushed through. I went over to the tree as Jessie followed. I slipped over a pillow and spilled the cups. Oh no, my brother walked in. You're in trouble. You promise you won't tell? I could see the creepy smile on his face, like he was going to tell on her. I went over and got a rag from the bathroom to dry the water and said to myself, yes, the water is gone. So that was, and I didn't witness that whole episode, but I love that story. I love that she gave me that story. Okay, this one I did during a Get It Scrapped, what do they call it? Like live crop, where everybody gets on GoToMeeting and we all crop together, and there's a chat room, and also there's like, I think like up to 8 people can be on camera at once, so it's a lot of fun. And I did that, I think I did this one on camera during one of those events. So yay, that was fun. And this one I did during Calvin Ball. I think it was my first Calvin Ball page, and I actually had a comic book of Calvin and Hobbes, so I cut that out, and then I like fussy cut Calvin to like go right in the pictures of my son. So I thought that was fun. That was a fun one to make. I thought I was so clever, you know. And then this one is, I think he lost 2 teeth in the same week, and I don't know, it must be some kind of, must have been an assignment about using glitter. So I did some cuts on the silhouette and then did the negative space, so I put the glitter underneath, so there's like 2 layers there. And then on the back, as I'm apt to do, I sewed a pocket, and then I put some papers from school onto the back of that page. And I think it was like every cloud was a silver lining, because I was just trying to find something good about this year. And then I just put all of the blah, all the stuff from school that was not so maybe great on the back. Okay, this one is blah, snapshots of a great day. And I do not remember why I did this page. Like, I don't know what I was thinking. Like with the, I think I was just trying to make a page about our trip. It looks like I did some, like a triangle of embellishments, and I used glue, like glitter glue, instead of like a brad or enamel dots. So I just did them right on there. I think like 2Ps, there was a bunch of messages about how to make your own enamel dots, and I just tried it with glue. So I thought it actually came out pretty cute. Those little dots, I think. I don't know. But otherwise, I think that's all I was doing on this page, and just getting a bunch of pictures from our recent trip down. This one is, I saw Amy Tangerine or Amy Tan did a layout in the Two Peas Gallery where she did just a big diagonal and then like a cluster of stuff on the middle of the page. And so I was kind of scraplifting her on this one, and that's also from our trip, and I think I used some of her products actually on that page. And then, oh, I was just telling somebody I should have written down what we did every day. Well, I did. And this is just like a little calendar. And so that was, I think, one of Amy Tan's products. So I scraplifted her and used her products on this page, but I did write all the things that we did. And because our trip started on a Wednesday, like this card started with a Monday, I just cut the card and then like kind of pasted it back together so it would make sense for what we did. There you go. And I think I was playing with grids. Yep. I was doing some, I like to take a concept and just play with it a little bit. So this is one kind of grid, and Sue Althouse, who is a scrapbooker, was doing this kind of business with the twine and the holes. So I wanted to try that, and I just taped them down on the back. So I made a grid using the twine, and then, I don't know. I was on this page, I think I was also just trying to, you know, go through the brochures that you bring home with you from a trip and get them used up and then throw them away. So like save a little bit, and what I did on this page is I just took ones that had pictures of cool colors, so blue and purple and not much green in there, but I think that was what I was up to. Yeah, I like those. And then this is, okay, so these are just some writing from my son, and I probably just had nowhere else to put it. Sometimes I'll have I'll be real clever and have a place where I'm putting all of their schoolwork, but this is just some writing that my son did. And so if it doesn't make it onto a scrapbook page, which it probably won't, I will just put this like in between some scrapbook layouts in his school book. And they are dated, and they are, it's by him. And so, yeah, it doesn't really need, like, it's okay if it just goes in just like that. And I love that you can see his writing. He has a really hard time with handwriting. Anyways, that's just some of his schoolwork. It got mixed in with this, and that's okay because it's still going to go into one of the albums. And I got her in there too. That looks like by her. But you can put schoolwork, not like every piece of schoolwork that you get from your kids, but some things like, this was a really nice story that he wrote at school. So that can go in. I don't think I need to even make a scrapbook page about it. Although I could if I was so inclined, but if I don't feel bad about it. It's fine just to put it in there. Oh, I don't even remember what this was about. Okay, I think I do remember. This one is a page that I made the base of this page, like all of these strips, a while ago. So I do these things called half-baked pages, where if I'm not really feeling like telling any stories or using any pictures, but I want to do some scrapbooking just to play with all the stuff, I'll make like half-done layouts where I've got, and sometimes I'll include the photos, sometimes I won't, but I'll just kind of get the base of the page done, and that's what I had done with this one. And then later, when I'm feeling like telling a story and including photos, then I'll go back in and just add that on. So that was a page that started maybe a couple of years ago, and then I finished just recently. So, oh, some of these are really, I don't know why I have this one out. This one is really old. I mean, it's not really old, but I made it, I think, in 2011. I didn't even date it. That's very unusual for me. And I don't know why it's out, because I don't know why. Like, it should have been put in the album a long time ago. I must have taken it out to show somebody. I don't know. I don't remember. It just, all of the pages that need to go in albums just get placed in this stack. So then when the stack gets high enough, which is high enough now, then I'll go ahead and separate them out and like put them in my different album categories. And I use the Stacy Julian method of Library of Memories. So this was, I don't know what this was about. I don't know why I made this page. I mean, I made it because I'm a scrapbooker, but I don't know what I was thinking here. Anyways, there it is. It's fine. I think this might have been one of those half-baked pages too, maybe. Although this looks like newer paper, so I don't think it was. I don't remember. But there it is. It's kind of cute. I like the map little sticker there. This was, okay, so we're getting back to like November. I made this for a Get It Scrapped blog post, and it was to use something, a tablescape that you found, like a Thanksgiving tablescape that you found on Pinterest, and then apply that to a scrapbook layout. So this was like a place setting, you know. Haha, I'm so clever. And then this, I know, I'm so cheesy. This is a photo of my family having Thanksgiving dinner, and then this is like this little book. I thought it was. Oh, it's just one little. Anyways, I thought I'd put more in there, but it was kind of like to make it look like a place setting. So that was fun. Fun to make. I've enjoyed making that page. I don't usually like layer up so much stuff. See all that? So it's fun to do, like, do things that you don't, like, if you don't usually do a bunch of layers, like, do it every once in a while. It's fun. Okay, this was a story. Let me see. The good old days. I think I wanted to use these old letters that were actually, they're like vellum letters by Mrs. Grossman, because like Amy Tan just came out with some new like kind of transparent letters at the latest CHA, and this might have been part of my like CHA. I have a little series that I do sometimes on my blog. It's called, what is it called? CHA knockoffs. And so I think I did that as a CHA knockoff. So, yeah, I think that's what that was. This was for Get It Scrapped, and this was, the assignment was to to doodle on top of your pictures. And so we had this really fun time of going to this gold mine in Georgia when we went on a vacation there last summer, but the pictures were crap. Because, you know, we're down in a mine, so the lighting was not very good. So and there's no eye contact in any of these photos, so I felt like pretty safe to just play with them. And like even on this one, I think there were some other people in the picture, and I just kind of doodled over them so you could really focus in on my husband and my daughter. So that was fun. Not really like, I'm not dying to do that one again, or something like that again, but it's fun I think it's fun to do different things. This is using 4 6x6, the 6x6 pads, you know, 4 of those sheets, and it may have been based on a Chamel sketch. Oh, it looks kind of Chamel sketchy to me. And Allison was on the honor roll, woohoo, and got good attendance, woohoo, not this semester, but that one. And then this was, I think I made this when I was doing the content for the class, Breaking the Rules at Masterful Scrapbook Design, and then I didn't actually end up using it. So the paper, I think, is Maggie Holmes, but I wasn't breaking the rules. Yes, I was. So one of the rules in scrapbooking, or art is like the rule of 3. So this breaks that rule in that I've used 4 of everything. So I've used 4 pictures. I used 4 different pieces of paper. I used 4 instead of 3, and I didn't put them in a triangle. 4 embellishments, flower embellishments. There's 4 rads here. There's 4 words in the title. And the story was, and I don't think I got the story down, but my kids have been at a Lutheran private school, and they've been learning a lot about the Bible, and one of the Bible stories, of course, is the Garden of Eden, and they're both kind of annoyed with Eve. They're like, really? We could just have kept living in the Garden of Eden if it wasn't for her. So that was like, really, Eve? Not amused. And she's looking at an apple, and she's looking kind of cute. Yeah, so that's the story. And then I don't think I used it because I didn't want to offend anyone religiously. But it was kind of funny. I mean, you know, the way they tell the story about the Garden of Eden is it really does make it seem like it's all Eve's fault, but I think probably everybody had a little bit of fault in there. Okay, do you like Allison? Yes or no? And I don't know what this says. Do you like Allison? Oh. Oh, this is like a note. Like a note she passed in school. And so, yeah. I'm not. So that's just going to go right behind. And it looks like she was having a, maybe a, I don't know what kind of, there's a lot of dialogue there. A lot of 4th grade, like, do you like me, do you not like me dialogue. But in a very 4th grade kind of way. Okay, I'm going to give you a little tip. On the back of this page are the backs of the brads, and a great way to not have them snag when you put them into your albums and on the page protector, or even like the page that's going to be, you know, behind it in the page protector, is to just take some tape and tape over them so those little prongs aren't going to catch on the other things. Now, is this archival? No. Do we care? Nah. I don't care. But that way, it just kind of, because it's the back, first of all, it's alright. It's going to be fine. This was, I don't know. I think this was maybe for, Debbie Hodge had something called Scrapbook Coach, I think. And she would go through different types of layout designs. And this is a cross. I think that's what she calls it, a cross. You know, like it's like a cross, yeah. And it's about my nephew who was doing art, but he also works at Subway, so he's a sandwich artist, haha. And then I used some papers that I had watercolor, because that's kind of artsy. And then I just wrote about how he's a senior in high school. He just graduated, so yay River. And he just bought his first car. Woohoo! Yeah, so they came to visit last summer. And he was also drawing, like, monsters, so I used that that's why I used that monster letter. That monster pattern paper. Yeah, I can talk. No, I can't. Yes, I can. Okay, we're does it feel like we're even like halfway close to being done? We're at an hour. I mean, I can talk for a while, but yeah, I'll try to blow through the rest of these. This one came up, there was a layout that everybody liked with this design over at Get It Scrapped, and a bunch of us made layouts with the same, like they had these circles going on. Anyways, we all did layouts like that. I don't remember who made the original. It might have been Emily Pitts, but it might have been somebody else too. I don't remember. But these letters by Jenny Bullen, I love them. Okay, this one, I don't remember what my point was with this one, but you know that what the fox say. Ding, 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 ding. that's all about that and Halloween. And I wrote like a whole bunch of stuff. So that was fun on that. I love layouts where I can write a lot. This is Halloween. And I think this was maybe based on one of Debbie's scrapbook coach classes. But I think I really didn't follow the directions, so I don't think this is one of her layout designs. I think I took a lot of liberties. I don't really remember. Next up is, I don't remember this one either. I remember sort of making it, but a lot of times I'll have an idea of how to play with the scrapbook page when I'm making it, and sometimes I'll really remember what was the creative inspiration, and other times I'll kind of forget, and this is one of those times. I don't remember. It might have been, it looks kind of like a Chamel sketch. I wouldn't be surprised if it was. And usually when I post them online, I will note, where the inspiration came from. But just telling you about it now, I made that in November, so that was 6 months ago. I don't remember. Again, maybe I should write that on the back, but does anybody even care that's going to be looking? Probably not. When they look through these albums for purposes of family, we don't really care about why I made this scrapbook page and posted it online. I mean, I really think, though, we should make more pages about, if you're doing scrapbooking and then you're sharing online, you should make a couple pages about what you're doing, so they'll have that context too when they look through the album. But this one, I remember I made this during one of those live crops, and I hand cut the stars, and yeah. And so I was just talking and talking, so there wasn't any journaling on this page, but it was just kind of something to do while we did that online crap. Well, we did that online crap. No, when we did the online crop. Oh, the crocodile and the crapodile and the crapbooking. I'm just kidding. Okay, this is my nephew through marriage, and he has this thing called a drone. Isn't that cool? Takes pictures with this little helicopter thing. And so I used gears that I cut on the silhouette. I think those gears are super cool. I think you could use those on a variety of mail pages. This was for a Get It Scrapped blog post on woodland creatures or woodland motif, and we used inspiration that we found on Pinterest, and I know where I found a pea. Oh yeah, I'm really wrecking some of these layouts because there's a pea missing. It should be please. Can we go outside? That's my dog. But this was based on something I had seen on Pinterest, which was not a scrapbook page. It was like a pillowcase or something like that. But yeah, I'm missing some letters. Will I fix that? Probably not. This one's missing some letters. That should be ICE. So I'm missing a P and an ICE. So this is cake practice. This looks like a Debbie composition. She does a lot of this on the shelf. So I think that was that. This page, this next one, that's a lot of pages, huh? And I really haven't done as much scrapbooking as I normally do this year, but I'm usually more prolific than I've been this year. This was channeling Celeste Smith, so she uses these strip at the top, strip at the bottom, and then a little cluster in the middle, and she does a lot of sprays. She used to be a paper scrapbooker, and now she's a digital scrapbooker. So anyways, I took some inspiration from her. I also used her favorite paper of all time, which is a Studio Calico paper. So I remember she once told me that, and I don't know why. That stuck with me. Oh, hey, there's the letters. But, It's funny what you remember and what you don't remember. Which is why you should just write it all down. Because you don't know. You know, you don't know what you're going to remember and you don't know what you're going to forget. So, get it all down. Get all the important stuff.